Welcome to Rants of a Naija Chic. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 4 of the series You. Episodes 1, 2 and 3 are in the description box. If you did not watch that review, go and do that. Definitely make sure you're subscribed while you're there. And now let's get right into it. Episode 3 ended when Joe walked into that place that Phoobe asked to meet and the detectives came to him to talk to him. It turns out that they were just questioning people. It wasn't any big thing, and they questioned him. They didn't even question him for long. They were basically confirming to him, oh, we had checked in with that girl that you said interrupted Simon's show and everything seems to be up and up. It's like, you helped us crack this case. I'm like, you were talking to the killer man, but okay. Now the main thing that happens in episode 4 is Phoobe invites the whole friend group to go to her country house because they're rich kids and they have to like chill. It's been so hard on them. People are dying all around them and blah blah blah. The entire episode 4 takes place in this country castle, so I'm just going to talk about the main things that happened while they were at this castle to try to keep this video a little bit shorter. They get to this castle and there's obviously security. Everybody's kind of like waiting outside. Now this is their friend group. Even though we've been talking about a couple of names so far, it's actually a larger friend group. So in this particular episode, 2 more people kind of came on the forefront, and that is Roald and Gemma. Gemma and Roald approached Jonathan kind of like to make small talk and kind of like size him up while they were waiting outside before they walked into the castle. So now Joe is at this castle kind of far away from the main city. There's no service, so he can't receive text message from this anonymous person again, and he's still trying to figure out which person in their entire friend group might have been the person who tried to frame him with Malcolm's death. So he's here to like suss them out still, like he's been doing all through the episodes. He gets a note slid in through his door and he's like thinking, okay, maybe this is the anonymous person trying to meet, because that person had said they would meet in the last episode. So he goes to where the note says to go to, and it turns out it's just Phoobe trying to seduce him. And I'm like, I don't understand. Phoobe, you're supposed to be with Adam, but obviously in this particular group that means nothing. Anyways, Joe takes himself out of that situation and he kind of turns around to him, kind of like comforting Phoobe. Like I said, he has a way of drawing people in and getting people to confide in him. Anyways, moving on from that, they are now outside the entire friend group and they're playing croquet, such a rich people game, and Gemma is kind of acting out, being rude to the people who are helping them like their servants, and everybody, well, not everybody, but some people are laughing obviously, but Joe and Kate are not finding it funny. Then Adam, Phoebe's boyfriend, asks Joe to come inside with him. He kind of wants to talk to him. It is there that Joe realizes that from what they're talking about, that this group, almost, they are so entitled and so out of touch with regular people problems. But anyways, he also finds out there that it's actually not Phoobe who decided to invite him to this country estate. It's actually Roald. Now Roald is another friend in their group, and before now Roald wasn't kind of like in Joe's sight as where he may be the person who has been sending him messages, but now he's zeroing in and focusing more on Roald. In this castle too, Joe and Kate are still drawn to each other. I do not know why. That pairing is so weird to me, but they're drawn to each other, and at a point they almost have sex and they now stop themselves, and I'm like, I don't even understand why those two are drawn to each other, to be very honest. Joe seems to not want it, Kate seems to hate him, so I do not understand. Now Joe decides to go into Roald's room. The guy, he has now decided that maybe he's the one who has been texting him, to go and search his room to try to see what he can find out. He doesn't really find anything till he picks up his camera and he realizes that this guy is obsessed with Kate. Like, there are pictures of Kate zipping up her dress, pictures of her from like through windows and stuff like that. So he's like, okay, that would make sense because Malcolm was Kate's boyfriend, took him out of the way. Kate was working with Simon and was stressing Kate out. You took him out of the way. So he's really like sure that maybe this guy is the guy that he's looking for. Throughout the activities in the castle, Roald is also kind of like making himself a suspect because it's obvious he's trying to get close to Kate and stuff like that. One time at dinner, as Kate is leaving, Roald is like, can we go play tennis? She's like, no, some other time. And he notices that Joe was watching that interaction. So he ends up inviting Joe to go hunting. Another rich people matter. And Joe, well, okay, follows him because Joe is always trying to suss people out also. So he's like, okay, let's go and maybe we'll have a conversation and I'll kind of like understand you more. Throughout them walking through the woods, and Roald is shooting at the birds that someone is releasing from somewhere, he is talking to Joe, and it is obvious that I don't know if he loves or he's obsessing about Kate, but it's obvious that he has decided that since Kate is kind of like interested in Joe. I mean, he has been noticing their interaction, that Joe is the person that is going to stand in his way, so he doesn't like Joe. And at one point, Joe is kind of like walking ahead of him, and he's saying something about how Malcolm is out of the way, Simon is out of the way, and he points the gun at Joe, like at his back. Of course, Joe didn't see that, but all of a sudden, maybe, I don't know if he would have shot him, I don't think he would have, but all of a sudden we hear another shot. Apparently, Kate had heard that they were going for hunting and she followed them. So Kate, that shot kind of like distracted that moment, and Kate now asks Joe to go, that he's going to go back with Rhoda. From Kate and Rhoda walking into the house, it is obvious that there's some kind of history there, that they go way back, but then again, nothing is really said, and then they get to the house. Again, Joe and Kate finally do the do, even though they had told themselves that they were not going to do it and blah 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 blah. It's obvious they cannot stay away from each other. At this point, to be very honest, I think that Joe is falling in love with Kate, and Kate at the same time is kind of using Joe to get over her grief. That's all I can say about that. The final scene in this episode is another rich people dinner, and at the dinner, Gemma of course is still acting a fool, and Rhoda is also trying to out Kate about something, like, because Kate always kind of sees herself as she's not part of that rich entitled group. So Rhoda is like going, you see yourself as you're not part of one of us, but you're part of one of us. And Gemma is like, don't tell me he doesn't know. Aspe, don't tell me that Joe doesn't know who you are. And they want to almost out Kate. But in comes Miss Phoobe, dragged by servants, and there's like, Phoobe is dead. I'm like, I don't understand. Phoobe has actually chosen this time to do a murder mystery game where she pretends that she's dead and then makes all the friends find out who killed her before they killed again. Honestly, the level to which this group lacks self-awareness, like 2 of your friends are dead and you people are playing games about people dying. The African in me could never, like, I am not playing those kind of games. No. I don't care if it's for a show, I'm not playing it. So their game has started. Of course, Joe and Kate want no part of it, so they're kind of talking outside. It is there that Kate opens up to Joe that yes, she is indeed part of the rich group, even though she has not been fronting like she's part of the rich group or a heiress or anything like that. Apparently her father is this rich investor. You know, all these guys who invest in all kinds of industries, like, that are very powerful men, but they also have a dark side to them because they cover up, you know, things like let's say all spillage and something like that. So Kate's dad is actually evil in that kind of way, because something happened and children got cancer and died, but the company earned 400 million pounds. So that kind of situation. So Kate tells Joe that when she realized what kind of person her father was, she cut ties with him when she was 20 years old and they've not been in contact. So her father is using this opportunity of Malcolm dying to send the security that have obviously been following Kate around ever since she got to this castle as a way to get back into her life. Anyways, Blessing comes and interrupts their chat, so Kate and Joe supposedly go back to the game. But Joe actually goes back to Rhoda's room to search again, and Rhoda comes and actually catches him there. Of course, they struggle, and Rhoda is like, what are you doing in my room? That at this game, someone always gets hurt, and pushes Joe out of the window. Honestly, I thought Joe was gonna die, even though I was like, he can't die, he's a lead character. He didn't die, he just hit his back when he fell. So he's like, okay, maybe Rhoda knew that he wasn't gonna die, that he wasn't that high up. So he gets up and he's just dusting himself up and tries to walk back inside, like he doesn't want to play this game anymore. Sees them through the window still drinking, and he's like, okay, maybe the game is done. But then he hears a scream and he starts running inside. When he ran into the main room that everyone was kind of like converged, he doesn't see Kate, so he's now running back upstairs to go to Kate's room to find where Kate is. As he barges into Kate's room, what does he see? Gemma's dead body and Kate kneeling down by the body with a knife in her hand. And that is where episode 4 ends. I don't think that Kate kills Gemma, but I may be wrong. I cannot wait to watch episode 5, which is actually the last episode in this part 1 of season 4. Part 2 comes out in March. But yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Definitely do let me know in the comments if you are watching this series, or if you care at all, or if you are just enjoying the story. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and please check me out on Facebook at Rants of a Naija Chic. I'm on Instagram with the same name, and I will see you next time for the episode 5 review. Bye.